Yeah, Chappy Chapcast. Hello, what is happening, people? It is April 23. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Okay, so hello, and for this month's episode, I have been digging and I have found 5 tracks which all are collaborations that I've done with other people that I've been in bands with and just friends and whatever. So it doesn't mean that the people that I playing these songs with had anything to do with the writing of the song. It just means that they're on the recording, and there's 5 different people, 5 different tracks, and we will go through those. Yes, I hope you're all very good. And we are going to kick this off with a song called Mum's the Word. It's one of my own, all mine. I made it on my own, this one. But I'm playing it with my brother Richard. It's our little party piece, I think. Whenever me and Richard jump up anywhere to do a song together, it's always Mum's the Word. It's probably because it's like pretty easy to play and that, and yeah, it's good because it's got a backing vocal to sort of like, for Richard, he don't need to like proper nail it down in his head because the backing vocal is basically repeating what I say. So you know what I mean? Like, I'll just remind him what the chords are before the performance, and then Richard just copies my vocal for the backing vocal, and it's sweet as a nut. The only thing that's a little bit, do you know what I mean, can be a little bit forgetful is the how the song's laid out, like verse, chord, whatever. But yeah, because it's like it's fairly lengthy a bit, but yeah, but he does well at it usually, and this version of it is a live version, and it's at a charity gig that me and my wife put on for retinitis. What is it called? They're called Retina UK now. They used to be called RP Fighting Blindness, and we put an evening of bands on to make money for them at the workshop in Old Street. With a little bit of help from a promoter that I know called Nicholas, Dead or Alive Promotions. Yeah, he sort of helped us out with the venue, and he sort of sat on the door taking the money and stuff as people was coming in, and he did not take nothing for it. So thank you, Nicholas. Nice one, mate. Yeah, so this song basically, Richard played the night as well, and he's like an acoustic artist, really. I mean, he has got a little band called The Cover Shots, but he's does a lot of stuff on his own with his acoustic guitar. And that evening I was doing an acoustic set because I was not part of a band at that time. So Richard played his set, then I joined him on stage for his last song, which was my first song, which was Mum's the Word. And yeah, and then he left the stage after that song, and I carried on with my set. But yeah, top little venue, the workshop. Good for acoustic acts actually, because it ain't very big. Like, so when you play there with bands, like, you're sort of all squashed up on a stage. But I suppose a lot of venues are quite dingy, and that basement dinge. Yeah, so me and Richard, we play Mum's the Word, as I say, a fair man, you know what I mean? If we're ever stuck on a stage together, we always play this song. But yeah, so I will hush my beak now and shush a beak, and let you have a listen to the track, which is me and my brother Richard playing Mum's the Word live at the workshop in Old Street at the RP Fighting Blindness charity night. And here we go. Nice. Cheers, thanks for coming tonight. For a charity that's quite close to my heart. You met my brother. He's there. Do we look like each other? Different mums. Both here tonight, actually. Marcella and my mum Mary. Thought we had to do a tune together. This is a song called Mum's the Word. It ain't about Mary and Marcella, it's about keeping secrets, but... You ready? Goes a little bit like this. Cheers, thanks a lot. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so that was a song called Mum's the Word, performed with my brother Richard at the RP Fighting Blindness charity bash at the workshop in Old Street. So moving on then, so the next track that I found is a track from the same gig. So it's this RP Fighting Blindness charity night, but it's the last song I played in my set, and this is with Josh Wilson. Yes, Josh Wilson. Josh is a top fella, and he was the lead guitarist in my first ever band I was in, The Voice. And before this night, which was a few years back now, but we hadn't been on a stage together for 15, it was probably 20 years actually. But yeah, so we, because I was doing this charity show, like I just was speaking to Josh one evening and I said, oh, do you fancy like coming down and getting up and doing a tune with me? And he was like, yeah, why not? Yeah, he had to get his guitar serviced and do you know what I mean? Take a couple of cobwebs off it and all that, because it'd just been sitting in the, do you know what I mean? The back cupboard or whatever you want to call it. No, but so that was amazing. And I can remember me and Josh was meeting up at Desi Jones's house, and we was rehearsing in Desi's front room with Desi. I can't even remember. We got some beers in, ordered some food, and then me and Josh was doing like many different takes of No One Knows Him. You know what I mean? He was trying to remember the original lead to the song. But yeah, and No One Knows Him, that I've said many a time before, was a song that I wrote with Amon Amazande, who was the rhythm guitarist of The Voice. Back in the day, I used to write a fair few songs with Amon before we split up, and then I started writing on my own. Yes, well, maybe we could have got Amon down to do this with us as well, but it weren't to be. So Josh, so as I say, we was meeting up for a couple of weeks before the gig, practicing the tune. I'm going to play it to you so you can hear how it went. Make your own mind up whether it went well or not. No, it's great. But so this is the second collaboration that I found in the archive. From the same, so two performances from the same show. First one with my brother Richard doing Mum's a Word, which is one of my songs, and now this one, No One Knows Him, with Josh Wilson, which the lead is Josh's lead. Do you know what I mean? This is the original lead to this song. I've played this song with many other musicians since The Voice, you know what I mean? And every lead guitarist you play, you know what I mean? I sort of give them a bit of freedom, say play what you want to play, you know what I mean? Like some of them, there's like some picking in this that Amon would have done. A lot of guitarists sort of try to keep that the same, but the actual lead guitar, they don't. But this is how it originally was written and would have been played back in the day when we was 15 or whatever at William Ellis, you know what I mean? Going to be the next big thing. Just didn't happen, sadly. So have a listen and then we'll have a chat. Nice one.
I'm the talented one anyway. Oh yeah. This is the sexy Josh Wilson. You're playing for that one, We've got some top bands on after this. We've got the Smokes, the Twice, and I don't even know if the Carnations have turned up yet. They're going to be playing. If not, me and Richard are going to have a wrestling match. New Chappy, faster, stronger. 15 years in the making. Yeah, it's been 15 years since I've had the pleasure of sitting next to this fella. Well, I was probably laying on the floor with a Jack Daniels on my head. This song's called No One Knows Him. This one's for everyone that came tonight. Thank you very much. Not the greatest turnout. But the best people turned up. Quality, not quality. I could smell the radiance. Beautiful people. Alright, this one's No One Knows Him, then you can have the Smokes. Oh yeah. heart stays the same. A guy who cares for nobody, because he thinks life's a game. No one knows who he is, and no one knows what's his name. They all think that he's God. Why won't he let us play the game? He don't know where he's going, and he don't know where he's been. He has probably forgotten all the things that he's seen. No one knows his future, and no one knows his past. They all think that he's the winner. How long will it all last? Mr. Josh Wilson. No one knows who he is, and no one knows what's his name. They all think that he is God. Why won't he let us play the game? No one knows his future, and no one knows his past. They all think that he's the winner. How long will it all last? Still the winner. Swallows one now, baby. Still the winner. No one knows him. No one knows him. No one knows him. And no one knows him. Doesn't say we'll go crazy. Cheers, thanks a lot. Just want to say a couple of thank yous before I get off the arse. I'd like to thank Nicholas, the promoter, who I think he's still upstairs. Obviously the road trip and the workshop, all the staff, the sound man, Cassandra French.
Proper salt.
I'd like to thank my pregnant girlfriend. Even though don't say her name on the event or whatever, she's done more than me, so you're amazing, I love you. I'd like to thank my mum for putting up with my noise. What did Jamie Nicholas's mum used to say? Stop twanging! Stop twanging! Can't help it. Love it. And obviously, I'd like to thank every one of you that showed up tonight and give your support. Love you all. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the smokes.
Nice. Yeah, I can remember that night. It was a top night. Yeah, it was a top night. And yeah, thank you to Richard and Josh for both joining me on stage for tunes. Yeah, nice one. So where are we going next? Okay, and we are going to a track that I wrote called Hampstead Heath. And this collaboration is with a fella called Steve Smith. Now, I wrote this song a long time ago, and it just sort of stayed in the archive, and I didn't really use it. It had chords, but they weren't great. But anyway, right. So I was in a band called The Tally, and our lead guitarist, Chris Mattick, or Chris Horlock, whatever you want to call him, he was leaving the band, and we needed to replace him with a new lead guitarist. And I think my mate Cookie was in a band at the time with some fella, and this fella had a friend called Steve, and he basically replaced Chris in The Tally. Nice guy, Steve. Yeah, I haven't seen or heard from him for a long time, but it's how it goes, you know what I mean? Like, you get new members, and you've got music in common, you know what I mean? Take the music away, you ain't got nothing in common. But anyway, right. So Steve had this sequence of chords, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought that is great. And he sort of said to me, well, all right, well, why don't you like write some words to it or whatever, like a vocal melody or whatever. So I was like, all right, sweet. So I got him to record him playing the guitar to the song from start to finish. He had bridges and choruses and verses. And anyway, I took it home that night and sat down with it. And I did, honestly, in the beginning, I was like, right, let's write a song. And I sat there for like a couple of hours, and I just couldn't think of nothing to go with this song. And I was thinking, God. So what I do when I'm in trouble, I get in the archive. Wouldn't you all love to come and see my archive? Anyway, so I got in there and I was just going through some bits and pieces, some songs that I just wrote words for and hadn't had time to do any music and sort of bits and pieces like that. Anyway, I came across this song called Hampstead Heath. Now, Hampstead Heath is a park near where I live, and it's like my little bit of the country in London, you know what I mean? I love that park so much. I've spent my life in that park, you know what I mean? From football and fishing to playing music, getting drunk, running around a running track, walking dogs, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable park. Love it. It's probably my little shrine, my little favourite place in the world, you know what I mean? I've been visited countries, China, America, I've been all over the world, and I can't say that there's a place in the world that I don't, do you know what I mean? Always when you're on a plane on the way home, or whether it's a boat or whatever, and you know what I mean? And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I wonder how the Heath's getting on. Do you know what I mean? I wonder what's happening up there. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I'll get home and I'll get my Jack Russell and we'll go straight up the park. But no, but definitely Hampstead Heath, amazing. So anyway, so I've got this song, Hampstead Heath, and my chords weren't really cutting it, you know what I mean? So I thought, right, I am gonna sing this song to his music and change the vocal melody if I have to, you know what I mean, to fit this song. So obviously I had a little studio and got his track up on Logic, you know what I mean, and put a little vocal track on there, and and sang in my room Hampstead Heath to these chords. And I'm not even joking. It not only did it better the song, it sounded perfect. You know what I mean? It fitted amazing. And it was just like, I was like, fucking hell, amazing. So I recorded it, sent it to him. Obviously, I didn't tell him that I pulled it out of the archive. I told him I just wrote it there and then. And I told the rest of the band that as well. The tally of that time. Yeah, so I basically recorded these vocals over the top of his guitar, showed him it, he loved it, I loved it, the rest of the band loved it, and just started playing it like that. But it's funny, like, because the guitar he was playing, very, very hard to master, you know what I mean? Like, to tell you the truth, I'm not good enough to even play his version of it, and his version is what we're going to listen to now, not my version. You would have heard my version in previous episodes or whatever, but yeah, when he left the band and that and all that, and I was looking back at songs, because it wasn't the only, with this band, the tally, this part of the tally, like the bass player used to love writing bass riffs and stuff, and he'd always be like, right, something over that, right, something over that. But I've done it maybe 7 times. I went into the archive, got old songs that wasn't completely finished, or I've struggled to play them on stage or whatever. And I basically about 7 songs it was. I won't go through that now because we're not talking about all that. And I've talked about these things in previous episodes, so get back and have a listen to them. But this song Hampstead Heath, like, it is perfect. Do you know what I mean? I love his version. I like the version that I do with my own chords and stuff. So have a listen to both versions. Go back a couple of episodes and listen to Hampstead Heath with, actually it might even be in the last episode, I'm not sure. But yeah, have a listen to that one, and that's me, my chords, me playing the guitar and all that. And then this one is quite special because this is his guitar playing and my vocals and melody and that. And so I think this is the only song that I wrote with Steve. Yeah, I think so. I think all the rest at that period I would have wrote with the bass player Richard Fox. But this, as I keep going on, it is great. It's great. Do you know what I mean? Great. It's a great song. And then his guitar playing and chords and that made it greater. Yeah. But so, all right, sweet. So let me play it to you and then we can chat after and see if you like this one. Nice.
Hill where they're flying kites, they're overlooking life in my paradise. Hampstead Heath is where I'll be, it's what I need inside my city. A pond's mist, a swan's hiss, a swimmer on the diving board. Yeah, this morning's Chris. Hampstead Heath is where I'll be, it's what I need inside my city. excuse or reason why. And get outside, get outside. There's no excuse or reason why. Hampstead Heath is where I'll be. It's what I need inside my city. Hampstead Heath is what I'll be. It's where I need inside my city. From a hill where they're flying kites, they're overlooking life in my paradise.
This is London's Chapcast. Chappy cast. Okay, so that was Hampstead Heath with Steve Smith. Great song. Yeah, I love that song. That version of it is, I don't think it's the version that he sent me the guitar and I put the vocals on too. I think we probably recorded it at Chapman Studios later on. But that's I love that song. It's a great song, and it's great. That version of it is great. Sad that that I can't play it that way. Like, you have to go with my version. All right, yeah, nice one. Okay, let's have a look. What is next? And we have got a song called Sweetness. Now, this collaboration that you're going to listen to is recorded at Chapman Studios, recorded live at Chapman Studios. And this is with Spuggy, Simon Newser. The song's called Sweetness. Now, this song, there's a bit of haze in my way. I know that I wrote the lyrics and the vocal melody in that, but I think that I wrote this song with Phil Kerrigan and James Till. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm sure I did. Anyway, Spuggy, Spuggy's like been around The Voice since the day one, you know what I mean? He wanted to be in the band from day one, and he got there in the end. But anyway, me and Spuggy went on to do other stuff. We started the Tally together, actually, me and Spug. The original Tally, that is, because my band seemed to have about 3-4 versions of each band, do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I just get attached to a name and then don't want to keep changing it. So this version's recorded live at Chapman Studios with Spug playing guitar. Not a bad job, actually. So I mean, I'm not 1,000% sure on who wrote it with me. I don't know. Put any comments in the comments below, you know what I mean? If I wrote it with R2D2, or I don't know, maybe Bigfoot, or maybe a Yeti, or I don't know. I really don't know. No, I'm almost 100% sure it's got something to do with Phil and James, because it was written around the time, the latter part of The Voice, the great part of The Voice, when we had great musicians, and yeah, it was written around that time. So I mean, saying that, no, I don't think Spug had anything to do with it. I don't know. I really don't know. James was the bass player of The Voice, so that would mean it would have to be Phil that wrote a guitar to it. I'm really mind boggled on this song. It's yeah. Please, if you know anything, write it in the comments. Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, this version of Sweetness is performed at Chapman Studios live. Just me and Spug sitting on a couple of chairs next to each other, couple of microphones around us. You know what I mean? Going into Logic. No, it wouldn't have been Logic at that time. Was it GarageBand? No. This is recorded on a Tascam 4-track. That's what it was recorded on. This went to tape. Yeah, so again, it's a great song. It's a great song. Yeah. Well, I suppose I better let you listen to it. Yeah, this version is also on one of my albums on iTunes called Double Double, so you want to listen to it and it's too much of a palaver to skip through videos on YouTube, then get over to iTunes or Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever, and have a listen. But yeah, let's have a listen to this Sweetness performed by me and Spuggy, and it goes like this.
Sweetness, let me see your eyes. Sweetness, don't stop to cry. Sweetness, you're bringing it home. Sweetness, don't stop to roll. Ooh, I love you so. Ooh, losing control. Ooh, she's the one. Ooh, my heart is one, my heart is one. She's sweeter than all the rest, yeah, yeah. She's the best, little lady, I need to know if you and me, we run the show. Ooh, I love you so. Ooh, losing control. Ooh, she's the one. Ooh, my heart is one, my heart is one. My heart is one. My heart is one. My heart is one.
Yes, and that was Sweetness performed by me and Spuggy, or Simon, in Chapman Studios, in the early days of Chapman Studios. And yeah, it's a great song, and if you know who wrote it with me, let me know in the comments. Sweet. Yes, okay, so that's 4 down. We've got 1 more to go. But before we get to that one, we have got a chap tale for you, baby. So have a listen to this one first. Nice one.
Chap tales. Don't you wanna hear some chap tales?
Hello and welcome to another chap tale. Okay, so this chap tale is a little bit of a short story, but than a funny chap tale, but yes, thought I'd tell you all about it. Anyway, right. So back in the day, like this is, I don't know, probably about 19 or something, and I was in The Voice, whatever stage it was at that time, I don't know. So we needed to record a demo, and to tell you the truth, my dad actually paid for this demo, like, which is unbelievable because my old man never used to pay for anything. You know what I mean? It was always the old girl. But I don't know, he must have been feeling flushed because he sort of, like, we was with him, me and a couple of the others or whatever, saying we need to do a demo, like, to give out to venues and to send to record companies because we're going to be the next big thing. And yeah, so basically he said to us how much. So we contacted a studio called Bonafide Studios, which is down in the city, and basically it was going to cost £600 for 4 days or 3.5 days, something like that. So he gave me the money, and I went and paid the deposit and all that. Sweet. And it was booked. Basically, we booked 2 weekends, a Saturday, Sunday, and then the next weekend, a Saturday, Sunday. So we went down to this studio on the Saturday, and at the time, who was in the band? Me, Matty Benson, I think Jamie Nicholas was in the band, Jason Logan was in the band, maybe Spuggy. Yeah, that's about it, I think. And then so we've gone down on the Saturday, like, and we've sort of, like, we in our heads we had 4 songs that we was going to do or whatever, and basically we just tried to have it on this Saturday, like, and to tell you the truth, we pretty much didn't get not a lot done. So anyway, that Saturday night, we all went out to the Talio in Kentish Town, having a few beers, went back to Jamie's house, had a big argument. I can't even remember what the argument was about, but it just was not good. And basically, you know how it goes. I'm leaving the band. Well, go on then, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Well, anyway, Sunday morning came and I was like thinking, God, we're in the studio today. Like, so, and I was like, argh. So I started to phone them all. Phone Matty. Matty weren't involved in the argument. He's like, yeah, of course, I'm waiting for you to pick me up. And then we're going down the studio. And I was like, oh, sweet. And then basically the other 3 just didn't want to know me. Bastards. So anyway, so me and Matty that day went down and basically told the fella, like, what had happened and that, and he was sort of like, look, I'm booked up for a month. So he goes, I can't even let you change the days, like. So I was like, all right, well, on that Sunday we tried our hardest with me playing guitar to basically get the drums down, and we did it for 4 songs. We got drums down with my crappy guitar playing and that, and so anyway, we sort of said to the guy, all right, well, we'll see you next Saturday. Do you know what I mean? And then, so I went home that night, probably cried. No, joking. There was no tears shed. There was just violence creeping into my brain. Anyway, Monday morning, I'm back at work for a company called Power Print, driving a scooter, delivering for them around the West End and that. And anyway, I was like, there's another bike driver as well, and we were sort of sitting in this area where we used to wait for this photographic stuff to get given to us to deliver. And the fella's name was Mark D, and he was a nice fella, like, but I didn't really know too much about him. But anyway, we were sitting there, like, and he could tell that I had the ump a bit, and he's like, what's the matter with you? And I was like, oh, just flipping, like, I'm in a band, and basically got a studio booked. Me and the drummer have been left in the lurch. And he's like, really? He's like, well, what do you need? And I was like, well, I just need, I don't know. He goes, I said to him, look, I'm vocalist. I'm not good at guitar, so I need guitars recorded and bass. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, all right. He's like, are you doing anything tonight? And I was like, no, why? And he's like, well, do you want to come around my house and just sort of try to show me what these songs are? So I'm thinking, all right, sweet. I don't know why, but yeah. I said, all right, sweet. So went round to he lived like near Southnall Park, and I went round his house, sat down, tried to go through these 4 songs, which were Resurrection on My Mind, Coming Down and It's Free. I actually wrote It's Free on my mind and Resurrection on my own. So the guitar playing, it should have been at a half decent standard. It weren't though. Coming Down, obviously, I wrote that with Amon. So anyway, we're sitting there, went through it all for ages, and like he's got his guitar out, started playing, and I was like, oh my God, you're great. What's happening? Do you know what I mean? I was like, you are great. And then basically just went through it. He said to me, what sort of sound you going for or whatever? And I was like, well, I love Oasis, so I suppose that sort of influence, you know what I mean? He's like, all right, sweet. Anyway, I went round his house a couple more times that week in the evening, and then Saturday morning, I picked Matty up, even though his drums were all done, but I picked him up like, 'cause he just wanted to be there, you know what I mean? And Mark met us down there, and then basically went into the studio. Like, Mark had a great rapport, you know what I mean? Got on well with the engineer and all that, and basically, do you know what I mean? In one day, just that Saturday, yeah, he smashed it. He done the bass, rhythm, and the lead, and he was even going on about putting a bit of piano in places or whatever. We didn't actually do that in the end, but yeah. So he smashed it like it, and then went down there on the Sunday. I practically sang the songs in that morning, 1 or 2 takes each song, and then spent the rest of the day mixing it. And yeah, and I can remember that evening, on that Sunday evening, because Mark didn't even need to come back down. He just done one day, and he's just done 4 songs, bass, rhythm, lead on 4 songs, smashed it, nice one, you know what I mean? Well, there's even a backing vocal that he's in, actually. It's not a vocal, it's a scream. But yeah, I can't even remember what song it's on, but there's a scream in one of the songs, and that is me and him together. But unbelievable, totally unbelievable, amazing. Yeah, so that night, me and Matty left the studio. Basically, it wasn't really mastered. He'd put like a little shifty master on it just so we could listen to it with a bit of volume or whatever. Me and Matty got in the in my motor, my little Ford KA or car, whatever you call it, and drove home, and we just had the windows down and had this EP blaring out, you know what I mean? Like, and then I also had a version of No One Knows Him that I recorded with a girl called Lauren Talbot's dad, Mick. So we added that to this EP, and we had the 5 songs. But it was nuts. Yeah, so we was just driving home, like, and it's just amazing, like, yeah, just like that. But yeah, the others thought that they'd proper mugged me off, you know what I mean? Like, just leaving me in the lurch like that, like. But I'm so happy that they didn't turn up, because if they would have turned up, you know what I mean, we would have got a little EP out of it or whatever, but it wouldn't have been as good as what I ended up with, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, thank you, Mark D, a fella that I haven't actually seen for forever, you know what I mean? Like, he just sort of came into my life for a couple of years and then done one. He actually played a gig with me as well. Like, he got up and played with us at the Dublin Castle when Josh Wilson had gone on holiday. So Mark came and filled in for him on that gig, yeah, and it was another top gig. But yeah, but helped me write out, yeah. I know that this ain't really a chap tale, it's like more of a chap story. But yeah, all good. And yeah, sweet. And the tracks, they're actually on an album that I released. It's a demo album called Double Double, which is available at iTunes and YouTube Music, whatever, Amazon Music, wherever you get your downloads. I think, yeah, all 5 of those songs are on that album. So check it out. Yes, check it out. Double Double, a demo album by John Chapman. Yeah. So love you all. Thank you for listening, and I will speak to you all very soon.
Chat tales. Don't you wanna hear some chat tales?
Yes, baby. Yeah, so that chat tale was about Mr. Mark D, who was a top fella, who I ain't got a clue where he is now. Do you know what I mean? He probably just still lives in the same house. You know what I mean? I just ain't seen him about. But yeah, he proper helped me out. Like, and we got some good demos out of it. You know what I mean? He's got copies of it as well. So I mean, hopefully he enjoyed coming down for the day and recording it, and a nice one. Yes. Okay. So I have got one more collaboration track to show you before the end of the episode, and this tune is a tune called Nothing Compares. Now, this is like a bit of a little love song that I wrote, that was, again, it was just sitting in the archive and whatever. So I've got a pal called James, and he's sort of DJ name, whatever, is Enna. And he lived on the same cancer estate as me, but and he, in the same block as me as well, like that. But he was downstairs, and he was like a DJ sort of. Do you know what I mean? Like into that sort of R&B, whatever you want to say. That, you know what I mean? And obviously, because I'm pals with all them as well. You know what I mean? And they're not like rock and roll stars like me. No, yeah, but so I used to go in his house quite a lot when everyone was about, whatever. And we would just sit down and he had his own studio there. I don't know what he called it, Enna Studios. I ain't got a clue, but he actually had better gear than what I've got. You know what I mean? Like he was like on it, like Sonic. He was proper into it and that, and making little tracks with his pals, like Paul Hanyans. I think he called himself Control, and then you had Greg Harris. Not sure what Greg called himself. Anyway, but they was that sort of genre. Do you know what I mean? That sort of popping. But anyway, so we was all there one night, down in his studio, probably getting drunk or whatever, and just like going through tracks and stuff and that. And obviously, like if you like artists like Puff Daddy and all them lot, you know what I mean? They've got this thing where they collaborate with people, and then they have sort of like a singing chorus and then like a bit of rapping in it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we were sort of joking about, sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, let's do something together. Let's do something together." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet." And then he was like, "All right, well, what you got? You got anything new that you want to sort of, I don't know?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." And I think this was the times of the first iPhones, or maybe some other phone that was a little bit like that with the music and that. And like I've got like tracks on my phone, do you know what I mean? Just loads of different stuff that's never been used or whatever. So it's like an archive away from the archive. So I was just having a little browse through my phone, seeing what it was about. And I come across this song, Nothing Compares. And I was like, actually, I said, because it's only, the song has got a chorus and 2 verses. Like, so it basically goes chorus, it starts on a chorus, then it's a verse, then a chorus, then a verse, then a chorus, and then that's the end of the song. And then he was like, well, can we do something with that? And I was like, yeah, of course. And then he was like, if we keep what you've got, and then after the third chorus, which would usually end for you, we're putting like a bridge or like I don't know if it's just on the verse chords. I can't think. But he said, yeah. So we just add on to what you've got. You know what I mean? Like we'll put my part in, and then we'll stick another chorus on it. So there's 4 choruses in the song, right? And that will end the song. You know what I mean? And I was like, sweet. Like, and then I don't think I even had to sing actually, because what I had recorded, I think he just like cut the last chorus and like looped it or whatever, and then stuck that on the end of the song or whatever, and just stretched out a bit. I can't remember if I did play a bit of guitar or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, and then he was like, okay, so we've got this section now, and I need to write what I'm gonna sing or whatever, or rap or whatever you would call it. And I was like, sweet. So we sat there and like kept going through the song, going through the verses, and basically he wrote this rap just there and then, you know what I mean? Like, and then we basically, once we'd like structured that, the song, like, and it was there, and then basically he done the rap over his section, and then that is where we're at, you know what I mean? We've got Nothing Compares with a rap from Enna, J-N-R, or James is his name. Yeah, lovely fella, known him all my life, you know what I mean? Grown up with him, round in Gester Road and that. Yeah, so let me play it to you, and then we'll have a chat. All right, baby? Nice one.
Nothing compares to you. Nothing makes me feel like you do. Nothing compares to you. The sun in the sky still shining through. You make me feel like I'm alive. And take a seat and watch me thrive. Listen to me on the radio. So let's slip away somewhere we can go. Nothing compares to you. Nothing makes me feel like you do. Nothing compares to you. Sun in the sky, still shining through.
Nothing compares to you, so I wrote this song for you. You're my guiding angel, there's nothing more in my life. If I ain't got you beside me, wife to be, needs to be set in song for me. I love you more than the sunset in the sky, rays shining high. Don't blind these eyes, even with my shades on, your beauty's bright. I want you beside me tonight, I need you in my life. So come back baby, be my wife, stand side by side. Cause all I need is you, nothing ever compares to you.
Nothing compares to you. No, nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. No, nothing compares to you.
Yes, nice. Listening back to that just now, I've realised that what we've done is we've replaced the second verse with his rap. So that everything must have been re-recorded in the studios. You know what I mean? I'd like to re-record it again actually, and have the second verse in there as well as the rap. And yeah, nice. I have to see if I can bump into James. He don't live around here anymore. Yeah, be nice to meet up with him, just go and have a beer or whatever. But yeah, maybe, you never know in the future if he ever wanted to re-record it and we do it properly, because there is like a few mistakes on the old guitar. There's even a bit when I start saying the wrong words and then come out with the right ones. But yeah, it'd be nice to re-record it with him. Yeah, never know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I've quite enjoyed doing this sort of collaboration episode. And there's loads more collaborations with other people. So what I am going to do is so we can call this collaboration 1. I'm going to do a collaboration 2. I can see that we have whacked out the time on this episode, and I know people don't really like to watch big, dirty, long episodes. So I'm sorry, but we're already getting over an hour. So I'm sorry. So I'm going to have a little search about, see what I can find, and then maybe only put four collaborations up in the next one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I hope everyone's enjoyed hearing this and seeing this and that. And cheers to Enna, Simon, Richard. Who else have I done collaborations with on here? Steve Smith, and there is one more, but I can't think of it. Oh yeah, Josh Wilson. No one knows him, of course. Yeah, cheers to them lot. And yes, thank you for listening, and I will speak to you all soon, baby. Mwah.